Welcome to yet another
Currently
episode of
serving
Brand
as
Talk,
a business
the BT
success
show, where we
consultant at
believe in uncovering
Credera.
the stories behind the brands you absolutely love. I'm your host, Amana Chanana, and this is a very special episode because this is going to be the last episode. If you are wondering that why exactly is the last episode, are we shutting it down? No, we are not. This is a bonus episode for you all, and this is the closure of this particular season. And I'm really excited to have Maria Rajpoot, and she's a dynamic professional entrenched in the vibrant world of Salesforce, boosting a rich tapestry of experience and certifications that underscore her expertise. As the group leader for the Women in Tech group in Manchester, the UK, she embodies a commitment to fostering and empowerment within the tech community. Maria's journey spans diverse industries where she has consistently led end to end projects and guided teams with a finesse. Currently serving as a business success consultant at Credera. By her role as a leader in the Salesforce Women in Tech group, her commitment to mentoring, networking, and championing women in tech serves as a beacon of inspiration within the industries. Welcome to the show, Maria. I'm really excited that we are doing this conversation today.
Thank you so much. That was a very, very general introduction.
Amazing. All right, Maya, can you share your experience as a woman in tech with your diverse journey spanning roles from marketer to consultant to project lead? How has your journey been?
Right. So my journey began, I guess, so initially to tell you, and to tell all the audience as well, I guess, I never actually wanted to have a career in tech. This was never in my head at all. This was never, you know, how when we're kids and we think about what do you want to be when you grow up, like, even though, you know, computer science and IT careers had started, this was never on my list. I used to run away from anything related to technology. But somehow, I mean, I wanted to study psychology initially. That didn't happen. So I ended up studying business and IT in my university. But in business and IT was like the minority for me. And my majors were in marketing and marketing related subjects, retail and marketing and business marketing and management, relationship building, all of that. And that was my core focus. After graduation as well, my career started off from marketing roles. I started off as a marketing assistant, then marketing executive. And then I was working in my second job, I remember, where this need came up that they needed someone to be trained in SQL Server and SQL language because they wanted the marketing team to be independent and being able to just extract the data from the database directly. So I volunteered, not knowing what SQL is at the time at all. All I knew is, yes, I'll just be able to pull out the data myself. So we did that course. And from there onwards, I think my journey just kind of changed. Like it just opened so many more doors for me that I didn't realize existed even prior to that. So my journey or my career started off from marketing, moved on to the marketing analysis and data analyst roles, business analyst, and then somehow organically, again, not by choice in the beginning, it became a choice a bit later, but somehow it just so happened that pretty much most of the companies that I worked for, my roles were within the Salesforce ecosystem. So starting from my very first job, even before my graduation back in 2006, that's when I first used Salesforce and I was supporting a sales team. Salesforce back then used to be just Sales Cloud, supporting the sales team at the time. And then from there onwards, apart from a couple of jobs in between, all my roles involves Salesforce ecosystem, working in the background and support roles or admin roles or the analyst roles. And then obviously Salesforce then started off the certifications and that became really exciting for me because I was like, right, I already know this. I have already done this for years and I could just do it. And I started off with the admin certification and that just became a career for me, not knowing that this is an option, obviously, way back in the graduation days. That's like a very quick but summary of how actually your career can transition from one area to another without even, you know, sometimes you can plan and sometimes you don't plan, but you end up in the right direction.
So, are you loving what you're doing right now?
I absolutely love it. You see, I feel like marketing or even tech, I think there's a stigma attached because when people think about tech, people think about coding. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. Even in fact, yesterday, I'll give you the example of my friend. I was at her house and her daughter is in GC and she's confused about keeping computer science as a subject and studying it. And she said, oh, well, everyone said it's too complicated. And I said, why? And she goes, oh, because they have to learn all the languages. And I'm like, no, No, you don't. That's not what all computer science subjects is about. That's not what all technology roles are about. It's not just all about coding. And I think there's a big, big knowledge gap, especially even in today's world, unfortunately. I feel like the graduates or the students, the younger generation, they're not aware what technology roles are available for women, especially. They just assume that's all coding. And that's what I'm trying to break. Like, I don't come from a developer background. Apart from SQL, I didn't learn how to code anything, but I can understand it enough that I know what's going on. So I've mentored the teams, I have led the teams, I have implemented various projects, complete end-to-end implementations. So I understand when I'm talking to the clients, I understand the requirements, and I know Salesforce and my the knowledge of the system enough to know that whether this can be implemented using no code or low code or maybe some code, I guess. So I think it's important to distinguish that and understand it. That's the awareness that I'm trying to raise now, trying to get in touch with the universities locally, just reaching out to the younger generation, reaching out to the students who are either doing the graduation or just fresh graduates, and helping them understand that there are other roles other than non-technical, other than the technical roles.
Indeed, being from a technical background and turned as a marketer, I can totally relate to the entire journey, to be
But
honest.
around for you then.
Imagine being an IT engineer. I used to hate coding and I used to hate tech. I was like, why I really want to do it. But I had that kind of zeal inside me that technology can be a game changer. That's why I wanted to do engineering as well. This episode is basically for the people who really want to know what exactly is happening in the tech space. It's not just limited towards women in tech, but it's also for the people who are very new in the industry and they're trying to chase their career in the right direction and trying to find a path. All right. And since you have a diverse experience, I'm sure this episode will be a fruitful one for the audience as well.
Well, if we can benefit one person, I would be happy with that.
Definitely you will. But all right, coming to the next round, this is a buzzer round where you have to answer in one word or one sentence. And this will be fun. One of the things that I personally love to ask guests because this particular part resonates with their personalities and brings the best out of them and also engages our listeners
Yeah,
too.
okay.
All right. Okay. Starting with the first question. What's the funniest tech related mishap or blunder you have ever encountered during a project?
Oh, wow. Encountered or done myself.
Anything.
Oh, wow. I don't think any blunders were funny. Not
Yeah.
at the time, for sure. I did end up deleting my word, but I did end up deleting the whole database.
Oh shit.
Should I say database? All the data extensions, I would say. I did end up deleting all the data extensions from Marketing Cloud while I was working for, if anyone's listening, they would remember, my manager would remember this. And I think what happened was in Marketing Cloud, I don't know if anyone's used Marketing Cloud in Salesforce, they would know that when you, or anyway, it was the case 4 years ago, when you're clicking delete button on the data extension, it just deleted straight away everything.
Yeah.
So delete all data extensions. Thankfully, obviously, thanks to backups, it was all restored.
Yeah.
It took a couple of hours. The reason I'm sharing it, not very proudly, but sharing it still, is because if there's one thing I've learned, it is the fact that everyone makes mistakes. I don't think there would be anyone in senior leadership roles who would come and say, they've never done anything. I think everyone makes mistakes, and that's absolutely fine as long as you don't repeat it. So I'm going to say that I've never deleted it again.
That was one big lesson that I think one learned. Did your managers do something after that?
No, they were very supportive. It's just something that doesn't pop up with an error message or a warning message or anything. So they knew, and it's something that actually someone else had done in the team as well before. So
All right, they were
they
used.
understand. Yes.
All right, cool. All right, coming to the next question. If
Mhm.
you could create a new Salesforce mascot, since we all love Salesforce mascots, what would it be?
Oh my God. Do you know what? I've not thought about new Salesforce mascots, but there's one thing that I relate myself to a lot. Maybe I should reach out to Salesforce about this. What I feel, so there's the Salesforce consultant roles, and we don't have a plushie for Salesforce consultant. How I see myself as a consultant, again, I'm talking about my own personality, not necessarily all consultants are like this. I see consultants as, good with relationship building, good with communication. They have that calm, or they should have that calm personality to be able to deal with lots of people in different scenarios. But at the same time, they know what to say, or they should know what to say and when to say. And they can be feisty honesty or fiercely as well. And I feel that I myself relate to panther a lot. So we have, if we can have a wolf, if we can have bears, I'm sure we can have this space for panther, right? I just want a black, shiny panther up there in my shelf. Yeah, maybe I should tell Salesforce about it.
Yes, indeed. I'll ask them to sponsor this particular
Yes.
podcast. So,
Yeah, and I'd work with them to create that. I'd love to.
amazing, amazing. I think we
Yeah.
should write to them and get a panther as well because that's what
Yes.
we are, right? We are very calm, composed, but when it comes to our projects or when it comes to delivery, we are very,
Yeah.
very proactive. All right.
Yeah. So I can get my claws out if needed.
Indeed. So perfect example, I think. All right, coming to the next question. If you had to describe your journey in tech industry using only emojis, which one would you choose?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Emojis, we use it all the time, right?
Yeah, I would just throw in a combination. I don't think there's one emoji that I could use. I've
Correct.
had tears. I've had, smooth transitions as well. So a bit of water, a bit of fire, a bit of tears, and lots of happy faces as well. I think it's been a mix. And I don't think it's just in the tech industry. I think the journey can be like that for anyone in any industry. But yeah.
That's more like a personal journey throughout in your professional life. Amazing. This was one of the sweetest answers I've heard.
I don't have sweat, so I wouldn't really throw exclamation marks and dollar signs and hysterics.
All right. So coming to the last question of this round. If you could swap careers with a famous tech icon for a day, who would it be? What would you think they had make of any usual daily task? Anything that you want to really change in their life or yours?
If I could change, just swap it or just change it completely?
Change it. It's totally on you, to be honest.
I would pick. Oh, that's a tough one. See, I was gonna say Mark Benioff, but then again, Mark Benioff. No, do you know what? I'm gonna pick Gilda. Gilda Hilaire. She's the director of marketing in Salesforce, and I met her in Cairo Dreaming. She's got such a wonderful personality. Obviously, I haven't had an opportunity to work with her before, but I think marketing in its true sense, or
Yeah.
in the sense that it should be in today's world, she's
Mhm.
an amazing example of that. So if any marketeers out there who would like to understand how marketing is done in today's world, I would strongly recommend follow Gilda. She's
Mhm.
amazing. And
Right.
I would love to swap maybe more than a day, I guess, to just be in her shoes, and or maybe just observe her silently from distance to see how she's making decisions and the strategy behind it. It's amazing.
Amazing. So that's how we learn from different idols that we have in the industry, right? So yeah,
Yes.
we
Yeah,
we are
absolutely.
we are spreading the word across. All right, coming back to today's topic, since we wanted to talk a bit around women in tech in general, can you share your personal journey, your personal experience with mentorship in tech industry and how it has influenced your career trajectory?
So, interestingly enough, and I mean, when I came across these stats, it still surprised me because, I mean, this is 2024, right? One would think that people are more aware of the roles within tech industry, or maybe, there are no biases around, or the interests are a lot more generic, but that's not the case. There's still only 26% women in tech industry overall. I'm not talking about Salesforce, but just generally, there's only 26% of the women working in tech industries. And if we look at leadership roles within the tech industry, only 23% are represented by females, whereas the majority is taken over by males. So it's very interesting that the tech industry is very much male dominated still. I myself have worked in workplaces where I was the only female in the whole team. And this is not just tech teams, but also marketing automation teams using, so it's kind of like marketing tech combination roles. And I was surprised. I'm like, where are the women? Why are they not coming into this? So there is, I feel like, people who are scared, or people who maybe don't understand the roles or the options, career options completely. Coming back to your question, mentorship. So naturally, because it's a male dominant industry, naturally, I've had more male mentors than female, male managers than female. What I feel is, again, they play a major, major role. I've had some amazing managers in my experiences, some that I've learned so, so much. And I feel that a lot of what I do today is because I've learned a thing or two from, the combination of them.
Yeah.
Be it, the confidence that they've given me, or, the things that they've taught in terms of the actual skills, or even just on, how to kind of just take yourself forward. I think what I feel is it's less about the hard on skills. It's not about like how much you can code, or how much you can, how many documents you can generate, or what kind of language you can create in your or use in your presentations. And I think it's less about that and more about how we carry ourselves and move ourselves forward from the step that we're in now to the
Mhm.
next one, and then keep moving forward, having that vision for yourself. And I would really, really give credit to my last couple of managers for that, honestly. If it hadn't been for them, I don't think I would have the vision that I have today for myself. So it plays a huge, huge role. On the reverse side, there are mentors who would really put you down. I mean, I wouldn't call them mentors really, but they're playing the role of a mentor. But I think what people lack is, it's irony of the word, but people lack people skills. They don't know how to treat
Mhm.
juniors. They don't know how to help them move forward. They're
Yeah.
not sure how to guide them in the direction that they should be guided towards, or that suits them, or yeah, people skills, soft skills. Unfortunately, there's a huge deficiency.
I've seen a lot of managers who have been super supportive. A lot of them were not. But to be honest, it made me a better person because of the up and downs that we have gone through. It's a great journey. Once you get a mentorship yourself, you become a better mentor to other as well, because you know that these are the things you are not supposed to do for others.
Yes, absolutely. And I strongly believe in that. And I try and practice. And you're absolutely right. It's not just the managers and not just the people that you're working with. Mentors could be anywhere around you as well. They
Yeah,
could be people in the same company that you work with. They could be people that you just know or
exactly.
happen to know, or people you follow. And
Yeah,
sometimes mentors don't know that. I gave example of Gilda. I follow
yeah,
her on LinkedIn, but I follow her posts and how she's writing things, and the kind of posts that she's using. Again, I guess increase awareness. It's all related to the marketing anyway.
yeah,
But it's interesting because, she's a mentor for me without her knowing that she's a mentor for me. So mentors could be anywhere. You
yeah.
don't have to have the direct interaction. But again, I was talking more in the capacity where you do have direct interaction with them
Yeah.
as well. Like not necessarily are your managers.
Indeed, there are a lot of platforms as well where you can go and ask for any guided mentorship. You don't even need to pay. So these are the platforms I personally encourage a lot of people to use. Platforms like ADP List and Group Mentor and all of these platforms are a great way to connect with the right people to grow. So
Yeah.
even I use as a mentor, as a mentee also sometimes when I feel that this is not gonna work for me, I'll go and ask these people. Even these are random people, but they are so super sweet, Maria. They're always open to support you. Even if you say that this is a silly question that I have, I don't know what should be my next career goal or something, they'll be very open to guide you through. So I've met almost millions of mentors like that.
Yeah, and that's normal. I think it's normal. What we should do is make it normal for people to, ask these questions. I don't see there's any harm in people not understanding what should be their next step, because we do go
Exactly.
through phases in life where we're not sure what should we, go towards, or what should be our
Yeah.
next step, or what's better, or where should we go. And that's good. It's
Yeah.
good to reach out. Yes.
Exactly, because there's no harm in saying that this is something that I'm not able to do. Remember when we were kids, we used to go to our parents that this particular maths problem I'm unable to solve. They used to help us out, or even ask someone who was able to
Exactly.
help us
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So if we can do it as kids, we
Yeah.
should do it as elders as well. That's what I believe.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
let's talk a bit about your experience as a marketing automation manager and CRM manager. You have worked with TalkTalk, right? How do you navigate and overcome challenges specific to women in leadership roles within the tech marketing landscape?
I'm going to tackle your last point first. So I think there is progress,
Mhm.
because there are companies like Salesforce who are individually making a difference and strive to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like about the Salesforce ecosystem, because they do have that mission of being more diverse. They
Hmm.
want to hire and give opportunity to the underrepresented groups, be it women, be it, other communities. They want to have that opportunity for everyone. Within Salesforce ecosystem anyway, the numbers are increasing, not decreasing. I'm not saying
All right.
increase by a huge lot, but they're
Mhm.
still increasing slowly. I think at the moment within Salesforce, over 33% of the workforce are women.
Wow.
These are US figures, I think. In India, for example, the percentage is a lot higher. I think there's a huge percentage. I think it's almost like half and half, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there is a huge percentage of women in the tech industry. They're not necessarily in leadership roles. They're more like hands-on roles, but these are technical roles. Hands-on roles are technical roles. So if there are women who can do it, it's just about giving them the right direction. And it comes from not from when they already are in their careers, but they are already in the tech industry or outside the tech industry, like let's say marketing. I
Right.
think this needs to come from when the younger generation is studying from GCSE onwards, giving them that career guidance. So yeah, the numbers are increasing for sure. My experience as a marketing automation manager, yes, when I was working for TalkTalk, I take it back to the point that there are a lot of transferable skills that people are not aware of. Anyone working in marketing or creating or responsible for email marketing or social media, all of those skills are transferable completely within Salesforce ecosystem. The HTML, because if you're writing emails, if you're creating emails, you will know HTML, you'll be familiar with it. You can use tools out there which are drag and drop functionalities to create, design the emails, understanding data, who to market, how to send out the emails, when to send out the emails, what the journeys look like. All of these are transferable skills. And me working as a marketing automation manager, the only new skill that I had to learn was AMP scripts, which are used to kind of personalize the emails when we're sending them out. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I didn't have to learn anything new. All
Mhm.
of those skills that I used as a marketing automation manager, using Marketing Cloud for the first time in that role, they were all transferable skills that I used, understanding the data, understanding how to slice and dice it. I did know SQL prior to that, so I could create the automations using SQL. And again, slicing and dicing of the data, ability to interpret it, ability to create the reports, sending out test emails, A/B testings, all of that. I don't see any reason why anyone in marketing already doing that is not able to make that shift and come into Salesforce. I
That's
think that it's just the awareness, and that's what I'm trying to tackle, one step at a time as well.
In fact, I have a follow-up question on this. Since you spoke about marketing automation, can someone who's from a no-code background, all right, they want to be a project lead on Salesforce, can they be trained enough? Are there any certifications that are really good for them? Anything that you can guide to someone who's really starting their journey in the Salesforce ecosystem?
Absolutely, yes. I think when you say project leads, these will be people who are implementing. And I've seen some amazing examples of people making that shift coming from non-Salesforce, non-technical backgrounds. But there are also people who come from technical backgrounds but non-Salesforce, and they come into Salesforce and implement and lead the project implementation there. I think the good thing with Salesforce is there's Trailhead, which is a free online learning resource. Anyone can go sign up, anyone can go and start learning Trails. So to get familiar with Salesforce, it's very easy and it doesn't cost you anything. As long as, again, like I said, there's so many transferable skills. When you're leading a project, you don't need to know how to write Apex. You don't need to know how to write the triggers. You don't need to know how to create a Lightning Web component. All of that is technical stuff. And you wouldn't be doing that. That's not your job anyway. When you're leading a project, you are working with teams who are doing it. You are liaising with the clients and understanding their requirements. You're working with solution architects or, consultants who are, you're working with them to create the solutions. Absolutely possible. Yes.
All right. Amazing. I think people who are very new to Salesforce ecosystem, I'll give you a brief about it. There are different parts of Salesforce. There might be at times you are working as a marketer in some other things, and you are working and collaborating with your sales team, and you just need the data, you need reporting, and you just need to make sure that the CRM angle is being supported enough. That's one angle. There are things
Yeah.
that you need to do inside Salesforce, which Maria is an expert here. All right. So, in case you are really looking for that kind of guidance, you can always reach out to her on LinkedIn as well.
Yes. Yeah. Feel free.
Yeah. In fact, I'm sure there will be a lot of listeners who really want to understand it because Salesforce in itself is a big brand, right? Everyone wants to get associated with it, but people don't have that kind of understanding, that kind of knowledge trajectory that how should I even start? There are a lot of YouTube videos, there are a lot of content out there, but not a right path or not a right journey that this is what and this is how you're supposed to
I
do.
think One thing I would like to add here is if anyone who wants to make that shift, one, I would strongly recommend you to go on the Salesforce website and have a look at the certifications available. What that would do is give you an idea of what different roles are there. So you can work as an administrator, you can work as a developer if you are technical, you can work as a solution architect, which is the path you go up to from admin and dev, technical or non technical. You can work as a consultant, you can work as a business analyst, you can even work as, believe me or not, UX UI designer within Salesforce. So you don't have to be just a developer. You can also be project manager. You can also be senior principal consultant. So there's a huge variety of roles. So within marketing itself, we have Marketing Cloud, we have Experience Cloud. They both offer that, elements of non-technical but marketing kind of related roles. We have app builders, we have Salesforce mobile app. So again, there are things that you could work with and transfer your existing skills. Just need to explore that route and see what suits you best or what you're interested in. I think people need to figure out first and foremost what exactly are they interested in, and based on that they can then figure out the path that they want to take.
These are some really amazing insights, especially for someone who's really looking to get and enter a role in Salesforce. And you don't need to work with any companies for this. You just need to understand how exactly it works. So yeah, let's hope that our listeners are really finding this useful.
Happy to help if anyone wants to reach out. Yes.
All right, coming to another question. Given your extensive experience in managing teams and leading projects, what strategies have you found effective in fostering mental relationships, especially in women in tech? Anything specific, any examples that you want to share?
You know exactly what you said a couple of questions ago when you said, when we receive mentorship from others, we know what worked for us and what didn't work for us and what to do and what not to do when we ourselves become mentors. So my strategy is to, again, I've led a team in my previous workplace as well. So what I have practiced, or how I have led my own teams in the past, or how I still mentor some of them, because all my team members, they are still keeping in touch with me, even though I've left that workplace. I think what I guide them with is helping them understand what exactly is the path that they want to take. What's their career direction? Where do they see themselves? And then helping them with, basic things like what's the next certification they should do, what kind of job they should do, should we learn how to do triggers? Especially considering that we have now artificial intelligence, right? So a lot of roles are going to transform over the next few years very quickly. We have chat, we have AI literally creating and generating code. So I don't think we will need the developers the same way as we need them today in near future. So it's very important to think about the skills that you want to focus on now to make sure that you are still in demand, 5 years time from now. And literally no question is, a stupid question is what I believe. So anything that they ask, any guidance that they need, I normally just help them based on what I understand anyway. It's not like I know everything, but based on whatever I've learned from my own experience, what I can see. And if there's anything that I have learned is the fact that there's a huge lack of focus on the soft skills. Technical skills can be replaced by AI, but soft skills cannot be replaced by AI. No artificial intelligence will come and tell you how to deal with your clients, for example, how to understand your stakeholders and their needs. No robots are going to come and do that for you. They can come and write Apex for you, maybe, yes, but not the soft skills. And I think that's what we need to focus on as well.
Right. We have come to the end of the episode. You already spoke about AI and how the future is evolving. What is your envision, especially future of marketing in the tech industry? And how do you see women playing a pivotal role in shaping and driving these advancements?
So what I've seen and observed, it's a lot more automated than it used to be. Even like 10, 15 years ago, when I first started my job, I remember writing down, copywriting the emails and then designing literally using pencil and paper what could be the content and how it should look like and where we should place things on the leaflet. And then we would take it to the designer and then they would create something. Testing, it was a lot more manual. There was no concept of journeys at the time, not in the place where I was working for anyway. It was a big insurance company. It wasn't like a small company. But there was no concept of journeys at all for the customer. There was no integration of people visiting the website compared to who we're sending out the direct mail to or emails to. There was a lot of disconnects. So just in the last 10, 15 years, things have changed massively. Today's world, there's so much more automation. We create journeys for the customers. We want them to have a connected experience. We want personalized emails to be sent out. We want to know who the customer is and to talk to them about the things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
That didn't exist. So I think will continue to evolve. That would only improve. Things will be even more automated. Until a few years ago, we have data analysts who are kind of looking through the customer data and understanding their data sets. Now we have AI. AI is doing that. We are defining the rules, and the AI is then automatically finding out those different parts of customers and sending them out the right content. So it's a lot more automated. We just need to keep up with the pace.
In fact, any advice that you want to give to these young marketers out there? Because I know the industry is wide, things are evolving, everything is just going haywire. People have no idea what they are doing. What is your advice to these young marketers who are actually just entering the space or who have already been in the industry for almost 3, 4 years and they are still chasing what would be the right direction for them? Any key advice for them?
So there's two things I would say. One, I would say don't run away from technology, because the way technology is now getting implemented across not just technical roles or tech industry, but across a variety of roles. Even somebody now working as in accounting or finance, creating payslips, they have to use a system. So they have to be familiar with the system, right? So you can't run away from the technology. You have to learn one way or another. And you do need to have some sort of technical mindset enough that you can operate systems. Imagine our parents' generation working in offices with files and papers, and now we have computers and laptops and advanced systems. So, and it's obviously there's a change, that shift has happened in that generation. And with the new generation, there's no running away from technology. So don't think that just because you're in marketing or accounting or finance or any other roles, you are not a technical person. I think everyone has that. I think children are born with it now anyway. They just know how to use phones and iPads from birth, pretty much. Exactly. The other thing I would suggest and kind of put focus on, again, is something that I mentioned earlier. These are the soft skills. Do not underestimate the power of soft skills, your people skills, your relationship building, understanding people behavior. No AI, no technology is going to replace any of that. And even in marketing or outside of marketing, regardless of what your role is, I think that's something that you have to know. That's something that you have to even succeed, to build good relationships with your team members, with your clients, with your managers, with your customers. You have to have that. There's no replacing that.
And I think empathy is the key.
Empathy is the key. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
All right. As we wrap up today's episode with Maria, it's clear that her journey in the tech world goes beyond just work achievements. She has shown resilience, creativity, and great sense of humor as well. Whether she's wearing her many hats or championing women in tech, Maria's story is truly inspiring. As a woman, I'll definitely say that. And thank you so much, Maria, for coming on the show. It's truly an enlightening conversation, and I'd love to have you in the next coming seasons as well, because the kind of knowledge that you possess and the kind of things that people can learn from you is way beyond than just this conversation that we had today.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and I hope that, like I said, even if there's one person who can learn from it or I can help, I think that's a mission accomplished for me. The only thing that I want to say, and I think is, again, reiterating what you mentioned in the beginning, is the fact that I've started the Women in Tech group in Manchester. These group meetups are focused on, or anyone who is either already in this Salesforce ecosystem or looking to become part of it. I guess anyone can join. Of course, you do need to have an account on Trailblazer, but that doesn't take long to create. And I think what that would also do is allow you to, get exposure to the free online learning resources that we have already from Salesforce. So do have a look out, reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, and yeah, join the next Women in Tech meeting. Thank you.
I'll add the group link in the show notes, and anyone who's interested, it's not just about women, to be honest. It's about anyone who wants to enter into Salesforce ecosystem. They can go ahead and join this group. We usually have meetups in Manchester as well. And in case there's someone who's in Manchester and someone really wants to learn something about it, just feel free to write us on LinkedIn and we'll be able to help you out. Remember, whether you are coding, automating, or marketing, there's always a room for creativity and a bit of fun. Stay tuned for more fascinating talks on Brand Talkies, where we uncover the secrets of successful brands and the people behind them. And remember, you can catch your favorite BD show on your favorite audio platforms, whether Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Amazon Music. If you prefer visuals, head over to our YouTube channel and hit a subscribe button to know more. Thank you so much for everyone for listening. Until next time, embrace creativity, innovation, and cutting edge of marketing. The future belongs to those who shape it. From all of us at Brand Talkies, stay inspired. Sayonara.